Caitlin Clark names WNBA legend Maya Moore as all-time favorite player. Caitlin Clark reveals her favorite basketball player growing up. Caitlin Clark is one of the most loved personalities in WNBA. Playing for the Indiana Fever, she has drawn major attention to the league. She is also a great role model for the kids. Oftentimes, Clark meets with her fans courtside, signing jerseys and taking photos. But all this begs the question, who was the role model for Clark when she was growing up? Whom did Clark follow? Well, we have our answer now. Maya Moore was definitely my favorite basketball player growing up, male or female, Clark revealed to Glamour. Getting to meet her and watch her play in a game for the first time, it was probably one of the greatest memories of my childhood, truly. Moore is a former forward of the Minnesota Lynx, who is a 4-time WNBA champion, 6-time WNBA All-Star and an Olympic gold medalist. She became the first female player to sign with the Jordan brand. She retired in 2023, so Clark didn't get an opportunity to compete on the court with Moore. Only recently, in September, was she inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. When Maya Moore did come and watch me in Iowa, it was a surprise. She was sitting courtside, and just to have somebody you grew up wanting to be like take time out of their day to come and support you, Clark continued. It explains why she cares so much about her fans. She was inducted to the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, Clark added. The way she talked about team culture and how much that meant to her and being a team player, how impactful that can be on your life is so true. It's just an easy person to be able to cheer for. Clark missed most of the 2025 season due to a groin injury. In 13 games, she averaged 16.5 points, 5.0 rebounds and 8.8 assists. Unfortunately, she is not part of the next unrivaled season in early 2026, which means fans will next get to see her play in March during the World Cup qualifiers. When Caitlin Clark walked into the interview room after practice, she still had the faintest trace of sweat on her forehead and the unmistakable energy of someone whose day hadn't yet slowed down. The Indiana Fever rookie, already a phenomenon, already a force, already a spotlight that kept getting brighter, dropped her bag onto the floor, leaned back in her chair, and flashed that familiar grin that hinted at both confidence and humility. The question seemed simple at first. Who's your all-time favorite WNBA player? But Caitlin didn't rush the answer. She didn't joke, or shrug, or toss out a list. She didn't pivot the conversation toward teammates or youth idols. Instead, she paused, thoughtful, quiet, sincere. And then she said 2 words that resonated across the room and across the league. Maya Moore. The name alone carries a weight in basketball history. For Caitlin Clark, it carried far more. A young shooter discovering a legend. Clark has always been open about the players she studied growing up, Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, Kelsey Plum, Elena Del Don, and countless others who shaped the modern game. But when she first discovered Maya Moore, something clicked. Something shifted. She has said before that it wasn't just Maya's scoring, or her athleticism, or the way she seemed to hang in the air longer than physics should allow. Instead, it was her command. The rare combination of quiet intensity and unshakable presence. All the highlights of her making clutch plays, Clark once said. It wasn't just talent. It was the aura. As a kid in Iowa, Caitlin spent hours watching Moore's finals performances with the Minnesota Lynx. She studied the footwork, the mechanics of the jumper, the speed of the first step, the court awareness, the poise. The ability to take over a game while simultaneously uplifting everyone around her. Maya Moore didn't just play the game. She illuminated it. And for Caitlin Clark, who grew up with big dreams, Maya became the blueprint. A legend beyond basketball. But Clark's admiration wasn't limited to what Moore did with a ball in her hands. It was also what she did after choosing to step away at the height of her dominance. Moore paused her Hall of Fame-bound career not because she was injured, not because she was tired, but because she felt called to something bigger, fighting for justice. She stepped into advocacy, into reform efforts, into a mission that had nothing to do with box scores or championships. For a generation of young players, including Clark, that decision was revolutionary. It showed me what purpose looks like, Caitlin said in the interview, leaning forward as if the words themselves carried something precious. Everybody knows what Maya did in basketball. But what she did afterward, it gave her legacy a new meaning. That quiet respect, that reverence, echoed around the room. 2 eras, 1 line of greatness. Caitlin Clark's rise has been historic, record-breaking college seasons, sold-out WNBA arenas, television viewership no one thought possible for a rookie. But even within her whirlwind, she continues to tie her journey back to the players who paved the path. Calling Maya Moore her all-time favorite wasn't random. It was intentional. Their games, in different ways, reflect each other. Fearlessness. Both go at defenders without hesitation. Leadership that evolves. From vocal to calm, from fiery to composed. The ability to shift an entire franchise. The Lynx became a dynasty with Moore. The Fever are rebuilding around Clark. A gravitational pull. Fans don't just watch them, they follow them. Clark's acknowledgement felt like more than admiration. It felt like an unspoken passing of the torch across generations, even though they never shared a court. A moment that resonated across the league. The clip of Clark naming Maya Moore spread instantly, through social media, through WNBA circles, through the fan community that unites past and present. Comments poured in. She chose a legend. Maya inspired a whole generation. Clark recognizing greatness, love it. Even former players chimed in, noting that Clark's respect for the pioneers and champions before her is a major part of what makes her unique. She isn't trying to distance herself from history, she's trying to honor it while adding her own chapter. What this means for young fans. Caitlin naming Maya Moore as her favorite wasn't just a tribute, it became a teaching moment for thousands of young athletes who look up to Clark the way she once looked up to Moore. Many of them may not remember Maya's prime. Many might only know her name from old Lynx or highlight clips. But now, they'll search her. Watch her finals 4th quarters. Study her clutch shots. Learn her story. Caitlin, in a sense, helped reintroduce a legend to a new era. And that's how the lineage of greatness continues. The power of influence. In sports, certain connections stretch beyond time, beyond stats, beyond eras. Maya Moore didn't know she was inspiring a future superstar while dominating the league. She didn't know a girl in Iowa would study her movements, learn from her leadership, and years later transform into a phenomenon of her own. But that's the power of role models. And now, Caitlin Clark, being watched by millions of kids, continues the cycle. Someday, years from now, a rookie will sit at a podium, take a breath, and say, "My all-time favorite player? Caitlin Clark." Because that's how legacy works. It grows. It echoes. It carries forward. Closing reflection. Caitlin Clark calling Maya Moore her all-time favorite player wasn't dramatic.